special evening in the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field in Vancouver. So welcome to an introduction to The Heart of a Hero with Henderson Ong. I've known Henderson now for how many years? It's not 21, but probably 10 or 12 years I've known him. I met him on a Sunday. Peggy Werner and I, we were leading an Open Spiritual Channels workshop in San Francisco at a place called the Community Miracle Center, I think it was called. And you had to go up, it was 73 stairs, but the incline would shift halfway up. And suddenly you were not inclining this way, but inclining this way. And when you carried boxes of books, it got a little bit, there was a little bit, let's say you had to have a strong back and strong leg muscles, yeah, to get the boxes up and down the stairs. And we did that 4 times a week. We would do that. Anyways, that's when I met him. He came, and I'll let him share his story, what brought him there, because it'll lead into our discussion. But what was fascinating for me as I've gotten to know Henderson, as I got to know him, is first of all the relationship that he has with Master Sha. I did not know that he had met Master Sha when he was in his teens and had a back injury, and that he studied. Not only was he a client receiving acupuncture and herbs and Qigong treatments for a back injury, but he was also learning Tai Chi. He learned Tai Chi from Master Sha. That's why when he does movement, it looks like you're watching Master Sha, because he literally learned from Master Sha. And I didn't know that until just maybe a year or 2 ago that I learned about the Tai Chi. So many people know that Master Sha became a divine channel. He was chosen as a divine channel in 2003. August, some people say July, some people say August. Either way, it was 2003. And at that time, Master Sha was given the authority to transmit what was called Zhigang Sha soul software for an organ, like the liver, the heart, the spleen. And it was many, many years of Master Sha offering service before he was given the next upliftment that enabled Master Sha to offer, for instance, the cell packages or systems like the cardiovascular system or the endocrine system or the, the respiratory system. And then, and so what's interesting, what's fascinating to me is he had to wait a long time to receive those authorities. But within a few months of becoming a divine channel, he was given the authority to be able to transmit a Zhigang Sha soul software and create a healer. And Master Sha immediately began creating a 10 level program that started with Power Healer. Since then, Master Sha has upgraded the programs as his own authorities have been uplifted. He then has uplifted the practitioner programs that he created. And today, Master Sha has created around 7,000 or 8,000 Tao Healing Hands practitioners around the world. There are Tao Hands practitioners in almost 50 countries, I think. There were, about a year ago, I remember hearing that we had Tao Hands practitioners in 38 countries. But then we've had several events where we gathered even more people, more countries. He has also created assistant teachers. He named assistant teachers, but he didn't have the authority to empower them with healing abilities until later, much later. So around 2009, I think, is when Master Sha began empowering master teachers with Tao light treasures. Now Master Sha has he has around 182 master teachers. There are roughly 20 grand masters. Each of the grand masters has developed excellence in a particular area. So it might be, for example, for Henderson, it's dance, Tao dance, and also design. He's considered Master Sha's art director. All the book covers are generally created by Henderson. And until recently, he was doing all of the marketing materials, like the website, the banners, that anything that you would see in a newsletter. Now there's a whole team that's replaced him. And before Henderson, it was me and 2 or 3 designers that we were, what time we were working? They were moonlighting. So I wouldn't get access to them until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. One guy I worked with at 10 o'clock at night, from 10 to 2 every night. That was the entire art department. That was the entire marketing department. So now Master Sha has out of the 182 master teachers, he has about 20 grand masters. And many of them have also many of those grand masters are also now certified as Tao calligraphy teachers. They can teach Tao calligraphy. Not all of them. There's a few that are not, but almost all of them are Tao calligraphy teachers. They've all developed a level of excellence on some topic. So the exception is Francisco, who is, of course, the leading teacher. So he has excellence in all topics. But everybody else generally has one topic that they focused on, like Rulin with Tao science and Cher with Tao song. Yeah. And then he has about 24, there were 24, there are fewer now, I think maybe half of that, maybe 12 Tao Chang master teachers. And then the rest are master teachers certified by the Tao Academy. So Henderson is one of the grand masters, and he is also a very high level. He's attained an extremely high level of spiritual standing. You can count on one hand the people that are where Henderson is. Yeah. There's only, as far as I know, there's only 2 others. So he has really dedicated. He's very, very dedicated, very committed. And, as I've gotten to know him, I understand then why Master Sha, because Master Sha doesn't take, Master Sha, I noticed very early on that Master Sha had a really good sense of people. He could spend an hour with somebody, and he had a really good sense of somebody. So I knew that when Master Sha, he had a special relationship with Henderson, but I didn't know why. Now, of course, I know why, because he is a very special spiritual being. And we're very lucky this weekend because as I've gotten to know him, he really embodies a lot of what Master Sha teaches when he talks about the Tao teachings, and he teaches that the Tao is the source, the ultimate creator of heaven and Mother Earth, the ultimate creator of everyone and everything. And the Tao has 10 of the greatest qualities: greatest love, forgiveness, compassion, light, humility, harmony, gratitude, service, flourishing, and enlightenment. But I think I switched a couple of those around in terms of order. And Henderson embodies actually many of those, not quite all of them, but the vast majority of them. So he is really, when we were talking about, what we were going to teach this weekend, I would say, because I've taught the workshop, Discover the Hero Within. I've taught it with Henderson. I taught it with Francisco as well. And I've taught it by myself for several years. I've traveled extensively with Henderson for a short period of time. Twice a week, we drove from San Francisco to LA. And he had this time. He was like me. He'd figured it out. He knew 10 o'clock. We hit the highway at 10 p.m. And we drive and we get into LA literally before rush hour. Just as rush hour is starting, we get in, we crash for a few hours, and then by the afternoon, we're at the event setting up for that evening's event. Yeah. So when you live with somebody and you are having breakfast, lunch, dinner with them, you're commuting an hour to and from the location, you're driving back and forth to LA between San Francisco and LA, which is, 7 or 8 hours. You get to know them really, really well. Yeah. And what's great about Henderson is that who you see here is who he is. Who he is when we're at the dinner table having tacos. There's this great taco place. I think about that taco place. Every once in a while I go, God, I love those Mexican tacos. Who he is when he's ordering the tacos, who he is at the dinner table, who he is when we're packing up the boxes, when we're, schlepping the boxes up the 73 stairs at the Community Miracle Center, or, in Sierra Madre. That's who you see. Who you see here is who he is all the time. And that's what Master Sha knew about him when I met him in 2010, I think. 2010 or 2011. Yeah. Is that his heart, Master Sha knows a person's heart. So it's not a stretch to talk about a hero's heart and to see Henderson and to envision Henderson's picture there. There are many, so many stories that I could tell you of things, because we've done so many events together, so many retreats. Now there's like 10 people for every one of us that was doing 10 people's jobs. Now there's 10 people that are actually doing 10 jobs, right? But when you're like the one person doing 10 jobs, and then you've got one other person doing 10 jobs, there's so many things that sometimes go wrong. But he's amazing. He is really, really amazing. His compassion and his willingness to do just about anything, because it's going to serve Master Sha. It's going to then serve. By serving Master Sha, we're serving humanity, right? And that is so clear in his head. And so he's willing to do all kinds of things. And many people wouldn't many people wouldn't do a lot of the things, but yet those little things often contribute to making an event a great success. He's often what I would say a silent hero. No one knows that he did something, and that as a result, the event is going on and nobody has any idea that, we're in the back super gluing things, because it just fell and broke into 1,000 pieces, whatever. We've had that. We've actually had that happen. Not once, but twice. Yeah. So I invite you to open your hearts and welcome my good friend, my spiritual teacher, Master Henderson Ong. Welcome. Welcome, Henderson. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Master Jimena. I am beyond honored to be here, invited by Master Jimena. There wouldn't be me because I learned from her much, much more than how she has shared my being, right? I learned from her. She ushered me, guided me as I've grown, and definitely taught me lots of things in this paddling along, so what we call journey, right? First, I would like to congratulate everyone who is watching this right now, or who will be watching this if this is on YouTube, because I know you have the heart of self-improvement. Master Sha will say, how come we have 7 billion people in Mother Earth and only a few of you are in my workshop or watching this, trying to improve ourselves, right? Very many people are thinking of they want to improve themselves, but are blocked in general, right? So that is our goal and topic for this, is to push through the blockage. I will share my example of blockages. Yes, when I first started to look for what I think I know what I want, but many times my mind is still thinking of something else. Our human being came from a past which we look back and go, oh, that's where I came from. And how did I get here to this point? I had to go to school, I had to work hard, I had to take all these jobs to get here. But I want to go there. And we're using the past, what we know, to get there, right? And many times we're thinking, oh, what did I do in the past that worked? What did I do or did not do in the past? Transform it. This is how I'm gonna get there. Then you start planning. Many times, if you're blocked, we have no choice. We only have what we have, right? The key is to unblock it, unravel it. So from my story, started when I was young. I had a back injury. I was a dancer. Again, as Master Jimenez said, singing. If I start singing, people will say, Henderson, go back to dancing. Stop singing. It will rain. I guess it's good in California, but in other places of the world, if it rains a lot, it's not good. So they would send me dancing. Okay. So as Master Jimenez said, I love dancing. I do Dao dance. I'm a Dao dance teacher at the Dao Academy. And I broke my back muscles from dance. So my dad my dad took me to see Dr. Grandmaster Shah at that time. This was when I was 16, 17, 16, and Grandmaster Shah was a miracle healer. 15 needles heal all types of sickness. So Grandmaster Shah says, bring your son every day to me and I will heal him. And in less than a month, I was healed, done. My back was cleared. I was doing a lot of back walkovers. If you know what that is, you bend backward and your feet comes back up on the other side. I was very nimble. And it was a Chinese ballet dance, right? So I was able to go onto my show, did my dance afterwards, and as Master Jimenez said, I was blessed to have participated with Grandmaster Shah teaching Tai Chi at the grounds of the University of the Philippines. And in those grasses, we were doing Tai Chi and we were learning. I was learning. Master Shah taught me one secret, the lower dantian. And that was it. He talked about the lower dantian in a very Chinese traditional way. And that's what I've learned from him. I was feeling so grateful. I took it with me to college. But at that time, there was no cell phones, no keeping in touch, no email. It was very difficult if you move on, right? You literally have to have someone's address and you keep writing letter and keep in touch. And so I came to America and I don't know where he went. My parents were definitely not supportive of me keeping in touch with them, so they literally would block it. As I said, blockages, right? Blockages. My parents would literally block it, even though they know where Grandmaster Shah went. Because, of course, the Chinese community are following him. They know where he went. I have my aunt who serves the Chinese consulate, went with Master Shah twice to China, while, Master Shah brought students there. But my aunt was never in the scene, right? She's in the backstage because she's one of those delegates that goes to the back to Guo Lao Shi, Master Guo's place. So they know where Master Shah is. They just don't want to tell me. Again, you see, there's a blockage there, right? And once there's a blockage, it's hard to break through. So I came to America to study. So that's why I said I lost connection with Grandmaster Shah. But in my heart, I definitely was touched by him. As a young man, young lad, I was touched by his love for humanity. I was touched by his amazing technique on his Qigong power, his technique on acupuncture. It was beyond what I have seen. Many acupuncturists, they would stick the needles on you and then they would stick a machine and electrify you bzz, 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 to create the frequency inside your body. One time I had a Shaolin master who sticks some needles on me and he uses his Qi. But afterwards he walked away and he asked the nurse to stick on the frequency. I was like, oh, I thought I saw something really cool here. It didn't. But with Master Shah, his technique was beyond special. He uses 4-inch needle. He goes in, pow, and he goes, ha, 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 ha. Then he goes, then the electricity shoots all the way down through the body. And he says, you're done. You can go home now. So it was like every visit was less than 10 minutes, right? I even told my mom, can I go study Chinese medicine? And my mom says, no, you're too dumb. You won't pass. So my mom just didn't let me go. All right, so finally I came to America to study art. So I came to America to study art. And throughout my career, I've been very blessed. I didn't know that keeping in touch with your lower dantian or practicing the lower dantian is connecting with heaven more. I'm a Roman Catholic. Again, I love it. I love to say it. I'm a Roman Catholic. Born and raised, I go to church every Sunday. I went to Catholic school. Even when I came to America, I went to church every Sunday. And I talk to God every night. I pray to God every night with my Our Fathers. And little did I know I was doing my practices, because I do pray a lot. I pray a lot for many people, especially at the Iraq War time. I was praying for my friends' children to come home. I was praying for friends who went. I was praying and praying and praying. I love to pray. And true enough, everything I asked from God, God gave me. A job, my dream job. And then after my dream job, I got tired of my dream job. I said, God, can I have another dream job? And God says, of course. And I got another dream job, and everything I asked for, literally, like I asked for, God, how come Jesus teach love? And there are some sectors that segregates gays and lesbians in churches. And God, the next day, gave me a phone call saying, my friend called and said, "You want to come to Israel with me?" I'm like, "Of course." So all my answers, consistently get answered by God. Until one day, I asked God, God, everything I asked for, you gave me. What can I do for you? And that started a journey, a whole new chapter in my life. The next day, I was presented with an opportunity to help somebody, of course, a tiny little lady who needs to carry this big heavy box off the floor. And here I am. I bent down and pulled it up straight, and my back gave up. So it was so horrendous that suddenly, I'm sure those who have back problems can understand, right? As soon as you pull it up, your whole back just freezes. You're in pain, and your poop is about to shoot out of you. And you're like, drop the box, try to squabble to the restroom, try to unravel your pants, but you can't even bend your back to sit down. And you're like, the poop is shooting out of you because your back suddenly lost whole control, right? So you're like, you don't know what to do. Boom, after that incident, I came back to the office trying to straddle back. I told my boss I just had a back spasm and I really need to go home. I left my car there. My friend had to drive me home. I invited a guy who had a bigger car and leaned back the seat, and then I just tried to go in there. And I couldn't even, it was hard. Once I'm laying down. But that day when I laid down in bed, I thought about it. I said, oh, thank you, God, for giving me a day off at a very busy day of my life. Once a year, we have what we call the VM World. It is a trade show that our company produces, and that was I forget that the whole reason why I quit agency life was because agency life was 24/7, literally, months ends on, right? Especially if you have big clients. You cannot lose a client. If you lose a client, you don't have a job. But that was my life. And one day I asked God, I'm tired of agency life. I want to go into a normal job, but still earn same amount of money. And God gave me that job. And in this job, I was stressing again. So I thought, oh, God's giving me a reminder not to stress. So I lay down in bed. I was so happy. I said, oh, thank you, God. I was genuinely in my heart happy. Thank you, God, for giving me a day off on the most busiest time of my life again. And I forgot to rest, to say this is not what I want anymore. And why am I doing it again? And I thank God. And immediately as I thank God, God then gave me the idea or the message. Grandmaster Shah, And I said, oh yes, Grand Master Sha. And God even uttered to me, such an amazing person, human being, will never be lost on Mother Earth. He will be found. Because it's been 20 years I didn't have connection with him. And nowadays, we have internet, phone, right? And you even laugh the time I got my phone. I didn't get iPhone 1, I didn't get iPhone 2. I said no to iPhone 3. But when iPhone 4 came along, I heard the message from God, it's time to upgrade. So I got the upgrade on July. I got my back spasm in August. And by then I was laying in bed going, look, I have a phone to search internet. So I was searching Doctor and Master Sha. I was thinking Grand Master Sha. Finally, I found Master Sha on the internet. So I was so happy. I really thought I was bound to go learn acupuncture, qigong. That's what I was thinking, right? Because that's how I was healed the first time. So I was reading, and slowly I read more and more. And that shook my heart because I was like, he's talking about other things. He's teaching about other things. And I even asked God, God, are you sure I'm a Catholic? One God above all with a period. It's not a dot, and more, right? It didn't say and more. It just says period. There's a period, one God above all. And it made me really had a hard time thinking about it. And this is the key. We do have blockages, but sometimes we just need a little more push. And that push could be what happened to me was the pain to help me remember my original goals were. And when I was thinking of my original goals were this far back, God's original plan was this far back, right? And the goals were like, wow, even bigger. But I was grateful to have a day off on a busy day of work. And that is the key, finding that gratitude within us. Now, after that, the rest is even more amazing. Then God said to me, I didn't ask you to believe. Because I was having a hard time believing, right? God just told me, I'm only inviting you to learn what He has to teach. Yeah? You're going to learn acupuncture, qigong. No, you're going to learn what Master Sha is going to teach you. So I continued to study the things Master Sha were teaching. And yes, when I was looking at the list of divine channels, they were called the teachers. I was browsing through most of them, and I'm going, oh, I don't like this face. Oh, this face looks mean. Oh, this face looks scary. And then I browsed until, and most of them were in San Francisco, right? And then I got to Master Peggy and Master Jimena, and I'm like, I think I can trust these people. So I said, where are they located? Then that's when I first called and said, when are your gatherings and all that? And then I showed up, right? But true enough, I went to find a Qigong master. I went to find an acupuncturist to at least get my back freed up so I can drive myself somewhere. But true enough, even though we think we know what we want sometimes, the blockage is right there. We cannot burst forward until we really want it and we hand it off to God. Hand it off to heaven. Hand it off to the teaching. Because the Tao, the source, they can truly help us. And Master Sha teaches by raising the frequency and vibration in the body. You allow connection, you allow heaven then to serve us. Because that's what I thought. I thought I was doing what I wanted to do. But little did I know I got lost track of what I wanted to do. But heaven then reeled me back and gave me the direction and released some blockages for me to move forward. And now I know many of you who could be watching or will be watching know that you have somewhere else to go. You have more things to do, and there is a blockage in front of you that's not causing you to move forward. And that is why we are here to share with you how to let it go. What do you mean by let it go? I want it. How can I let it go? Not the what you want, but how to learn how to open up, release the blockages through raising the frequency, through blessings, and through learning how to open the heart. And the key is all in our heart. And I have to say, when I first met Master Peggy and Master Matt, I was so excited. I was like, when can I see Master Sha? And they were telling me, oh, Master Sha is, you have to wait till next February is the next workshop that he will offer in person. And that was October, right? By then it was October, November. And then I had my first big blessing for life through Master Peggy at that time in December. And I was looking forward to February where I can see Master Sha again. And guess where that was? It was in Vancouver. So I booked my flights, booked a hotel, know exactly where it is. And I showed up in Vancouver. And that was my reintegration into the teachings of Master Sha. For the very first time after 20 years of not seeing him. It was very, very exciting. And there we have, Dr. and Master Peter Hudoba, Master Tai Shu Liang, Master GK. And I'm sure many of you were there, those who are in Vancouver. So it was beyond amazing. I know Master Mark was the cameraman. And I was sitting in the very back. Learning. And from that point on, I am beyond grateful that I continue to go back to the center in San Francisco and continue to learn from some of the best teachers in these teachings. I took Open Spiritual Channels classes many times with them. I took all the classes they offered as well. And I'm very, very grateful. If not, I wouldn't be as open-hearted as I am today. The key is to open the heart. Once our heart is open, the rest is, as we sing, lift our hands to God. Lift our hands to heaven, the Tao, the source. And once you learn the true teaching, then you don't have to say, how do I believe? Or you don't even think of believing anymore because you know once you learn the teaching. So I hope I shared enough.
Beautiful, Henderson. I was listening to you. That what you're saying is basically that the path. Let me see if I can remember this, because I heard you. I went, aha, I had the aha moment, but I didn't write it down because I was taking care of something. So basically what you're saying is the path to a hero's heart. For you, the hero is Master Sha. So that's the parallel here that you didn't, for those that didn't catch it. But so the hero's heart is really a journey of letting go. It's a journey of learning to let go. And when you let go, then what you find is first of all, you get answers to, you pretty much get answers to the questions you ask. So whatever you asked, heaven responded, which is pretty amazing. So I think you rival some people who talk about manifestation, but you clearly have been manifesting at a very high level. But what you're talking about is that the hero's heart is a quiet, it's a quiet, peaceful heart. It's also a heart of service. Because what I heard you say was, I asked God, I asked God, here I'd been asking God to give me. And one day I said to God, what can I do for you? Right? And what was great is heaven responded, gave you a little old lady with a big heavy box. That big heavy box threw out your back. That then prompted you to find Master Sha. At a time when the internet was just emerging. It was just emerging. It wasn't like now everybody knows, Google it, and there's so many apps. Use this app, use that app, whatever. No, apps didn't exist. In fact, the browser Netscape was the big thing, right? Netscape and AOL were the big things. And to log on, it was dial-up service and long passwords. But what was interesting is that here you are, everything you asked for, heaven's giving to you on a silver platter. I want to make the same kind of money, but I don't want the headache of being at an ad agency. Okay, here you go. You got it. And then the minute you start serving, okay, God, how can I serve you? Oh, your back goes out. So we might get stuck. Someone else might have gotten stuck on the back, on the injury. But you saw it as an opportunity to reconnect with someone who, as you said, someone like that doesn't disappear. You will always be able to find him because he's that special. Someone's that special. You can find him. So there you are with your iPhone 4. With your iPhone 4, searching for Master Sha, and you find out that he's actually in San Francisco. You're in the South Bay. He's in the North Bay, or in the city itself. So it's actually your journey was a journey of it was the start of your journey of service, is really where your real growth has come. And what was interesting for me is really to hear, and I know you've said to me, so many times you said to me, I'm Catholic. I'm a Roman Catholic. You say that. You say that with such, I'm not sure what it is, but anyways, I'm a Roman Catholic. Okay, I was raised Catholic too, but I don't state it that way. I'm just like, yeah, I had to go to church. They made me go to church, but I decided 15, I'm not going anymore. But for you, it's still very important in your life, and that's great. I love it. I love the way that you say it with so much pride. I'm a Roman Catholic. Okay. But you got tested. You got tested. You're like, it's only one indivisible God, and there's a period at the end of that. There's no ... It's just the end of it. You sure you want me to do this? So the testing started, right? But what's beautiful about your example is you just kept going. You asked God. Interestingly enough, God answered. God answers you. You actually, your channels have been open. Is it direct soul communication? Some people would say, is it direct knowing? Really, who cares? The channel's open. Whatever channel it is, it's open. You're having this dialogue. Yeah. So what got you from that life of material focus, right? You're talking about, I wanted the car, I got the car. I wanted the girl, I got the girl. I wanted the nice job, I got the job. I wanted the condo, I got the condo. Then I got into the house, I got the house, right? So that's the material world. And then suddenly something inside of you prompted you to ask a very profound question of heaven. How can I help? What can I do for you, God? And that's the beginning of your spiritual journey. And then you see, that going from getting everything you want to suddenly getting challenges. And you could get stuck there. But you're wise enough to know that it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to grow. And for you, that those challenges, if I'm reading between the lines, but also, you and I have had a couple of meetings. It's gratitude. You have a heart of gratitude. It's a journey. It is a journey of gratitude, but that gratitude has led you to have a quiet, peaceful heart. Because when you and I spoke, I said to you, "What is it that people tell me, Henderson? What do people say to you? What is the most common thing that people say about you?" And you said, they look at me and they go, "How can you be so peaceful?" Because, like I said, you and I have been at retreats, and I don't serve. I don't serve as the events manager anymore. I don't serve as the marketing manager anymore. I don't serve as the MC anymore. I don't serve as the business manager. And at one time, I did all of those at the same time. So it's quite demanding, right? There's so many different things that you're doing. So there's a lot going on. There's chaos at almost every turn, and yet you stay perfectly centered, perfectly quiet, perfectly calm. So what do you think gets you? What is it that keeps you that calm and that centered and that quiet and that peaceful? Because I've experienced it. You're one of the few people that I turn to when I've kind of maxed myself out and I can't quite sort things out myself. I send a text to Master Henderson, and usually he responds, and then I go, "I'm going to call you because I need the Western version. You're giving me the Eastern version, but I can't get it. I need the Western. I need the translation into American. Can you pick up the phone? Can we get on the phone and you tell me the American version of this so that I know how to get myself out of this situation?" What keeps you so peaceful? What keeps your heart so quiet? How do you do it?
I have to share that I am very, very blessed because I have worked alongside the most amazing teacher, right, Master Sha. And if you see the way he deals with situations, he would take the best of everything and put it together. And truly, it is the how you open your heart up to say, "I hand it off." And just let them be. Let divine Tao source be serving us. And the gratitude that we can have is what will carry us through. That we're still grateful that we have another chance to serve, another opportunity to help other people. Because at the end of the day, you have to know what is true happiness. True happiness is when I'm sure you've heard of this many times, but I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to put an emphasis on it. True happiness is when you know you have served someone unconditionally from your heart, and that someone benefited from it, whether or not they benefited, right? Like when you plant that tree, you're not, you don't expect, "Oh, when the tree grows, I'm so proud." When the tree grows, you're so happy. When you have a child, you raise that child, they grow up to be a good person, or they just grow up, you're happy. You don't have to like, "Oh my goodness, my child is grown up," right? You did the job. Good job, bad job, you did the job. Your heart is full of gratitude, right? Now, if you can have that feeling, those are easier. a child, a plant, because those are unconditional. But if you can apply that to every situation in your life where you can serve and not expect it back, but at the same time, when there's a blockage, you do whatever you can to release the blockage. And many times, to release that blockage is to be conscious on how to release the blockage. And how to release the blockage is the magic key to unlock many things. And when you have that know-how, magic key, then you let go. But first you know where to get that magic key, right? That magic key is the key to unlock the peaceful heart.
So Henderson, I think it's important for people to know. Because we've traveled together, so I know that there's actually discipline here. So no matter how late it is, Henderson does his practices. He's made a commitment that he's going to do this practice, this practice, this practice. I remember, I think it was when you came to Vancouver. Remember we stayed at that apartment, yeah? So you came to Vancouver and you said to me, I made a commitment that I'm going to write Sheen 300 times. And I remember you gave me the explanation. And every night, because Master something, you had an interaction with Master Sha, and somehow you walked away with, I need to write Sheen 300 times, yeah? And so you did that. It was, I was like, I need to go to bed. I'm tired. I was in a lot of pain. At that time I was still, my legs would really get swollen. My feet would get swollen. The pain was really intense. And you said, yeah, but I'm going to do I'm going to write because I'm on whatever, 100 and something, and I've got to get to 300, right? And you were up and you were writing. You were writing, Sheen is heart. Sheen is Chinese for heart. So then I remember I asked you something else, and you told me that you were writing that how you apply Master Sha's teachings in absolute terms. So he said today, I heard him, we were on a training today, and he said, Dao Chang, Dao Chang, Dao Chang, Dao Chang. Whatever blockage you have, trace. Whatever blockage you have, write Dao calligraphy. And so he hadn't announced, I remember now, he had not announced yet what it was going to take to be a grand master, a Dao calligraphy grand master. But you and Hui Ling had figured it out, and you started to write the 4 phrases of the 10 Dao, right? That's the Dao Classic of Longevity, and that's part of the Dao Classic of Longevity and Immortality. And every night you were writing them. Every single night. So it's not something that you're thinking through. It's not, I'm thinking this. It's, I'm doing. You're actually taking action. Talk about that. Talk about that aspect of yourself. I don't know if it came, how did you develop that? Was that something that you developed, like Peter, he knows, because he studied with, he studied to be a monk. He was in a monastery in China, I think it was. So he knows the discipline of the spiritual journey. Where did you get your discipline? Did you learn it with Master Sha? Did you learn it in the Roman Catholic Church? Where did you learn it?
I definitely am the lazy one. I will admit, at the church, I used to serve in the altar as an altar boy,
Yeah.
and I got fired. And then when I got fired, I pulled everyone out of being an altar boy. So I was like the ultimate rebel. Definitely, for me, I'm like each and every one of you. I'm a lazy person. My favorite time is to go to bed. Yet, when I have a goal, I will bargain with myself. For me to get there, as I said, right? We're looking at the past, and this is our goal in the future. And we're thinking, oh, this is what I need to be doing to get there. But when it comes to the true future, is allowing heaven, right? Allowing heaven. And even in this, as Master Jimenez says, discipline, even as simple as discipline, I hand it off to heaven. I sometimes bargain with heaven. I remember the first time Master Shah said, to become a Tao calligraphy teacher, you have to write 2 hours a day. So I remember I was dorming in Hawaii in the little room that we had at the youth hostel. We had to go to Costco, buy extra small table so we can write at night 2 hours. I had to encourage 2 other friends to write with me. If not, I don't think I can do it. So first things first, you find camaraderie. People, right? You find people to help you with. And then afterwards, oh, 2 hours is not that bad once you've gone on for months and months and on, right? But again, it's not easy. It's a mental thing, right? So what do? We do what Master Shah says. Chant. Chant. And I chant for my own 2 hours. While I'm chanting for it to unblock my blockage, then I start doing it. That's how I do. And honestly, everyone is the same. Even I have this situation. Boom, you're doing great. 2 hours, 2 hours, you're riding it. And then suddenly something happened in your routine for a month. When you came home that month, boom, you're not doing any practice. You're flat on the floor going, why can't I get back to my routine? I was doing that great the whole year last year. So then I started bargaining with myself. How about this? Henderson, you're only going to do 10 times tracing each calligraphy. See, 10 times, it wouldn't be 10 minutes. It's so fast. You can do it. And while I'm tracing the 10 times, neglectedly tracing, hey, it's not that bad. I'm tracing. And okay, I can trace 20 minutes now. And then by 20 minutes, you're going, I can do 30 minutes. And the tracing, the act of tracing in itself raises the frequency and peels off that blockage that we have. Because many times, a blockage is like someone putting a brown bag on top of your head. Then suddenly you can't see through it. You're like, oh no, it's dark again. And then the first thing you do is poke a hole. Oh, there's a little light. Make the hole bigger. Then the light comes in more. Then you go, I don't really need this bag. Then you rip it back off, right? But many times we get so excited with our past. We take that past bag, I call it the bag, our past, and we say, oh, I think I want to look back into this bag. So you put on the bag, and then we're stuck again in our in our old routine, which again, the only way to move forward is to just allow, right? Like when we went to the concert in Toronto, I was doing great. I was tracing 45 minutes every day, tracing calligraphies. And when I came back from the concert, Boom, I was not tracing at all. Then I was looking at myself going, why are you not tracing? Why are you going to bed early? Then you go, I'm so tired. No, I still have work to do. So I get back up, but I'm working, but I'm not tracing. But when I'm not tracing, I can't do my work right. So you're going, Then I have to bargain with myself. That's the latest one. I bargained with myself. I said, okay, Henderson, even just 10 times each calligraphy, not 50 times each calligraphy, just 10 times each calligraphy. Come on, you can do it. It's very fast, 10 times. And then I did 10 times. And then after 10 times, the next day I'm going, I could do 15. Okay, minimum 15 today, minimum 15 today. So I traced, pretty much I have like 11 calligraphies that I'm tracing, 15 each today. And then the next thing I know, I'm going like, I'm back to 20 each day. Then the next thing I know, the time is becoming longer and longer. Again, for me, I make rewards too for myself. Okay, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to go buy ice cream today. But so far, I haven't bought ice cream ever since I came back. So those are the plus and minuses. I also have to find incentives, trick myself, or do things. But at the same time, start doing it. Even just the one, the two. And the next thing you know, those actions, just like Master mentioned, the actions will actually clear the blockage. And that's when we go, oh, I could do more. I could serve more this way as well. Because once the sky is bluer or brighter, you're happier. When you're happier, you go out there. You are more of a empty vehicle and channel. When you have your own stuff inside of you, you go out there, you're carrying it with you. It's like a straw. You have your own dirt inside, and people are pouring water, and your dirt is coming through it. But if you can shake that straw, take out your dirt, then people pour water, then the water will go through, right? The messages come through better too. That's what I've learned is by hook or by crook, by hook or by crook, that's a term, right? That you just start somewhere, right? To become an athlete, you have to start somewhere. Whether you're planning to run, planning to swim, you start somewhere. And from there, okay, you start writing. Then the next thing you know, you're writing it. Unless you start, you'll never know you'll get there or not.
So Henderson, I'm wondering if we should do a practice. Is there a practice that we can that you can guide people through?
Yes, definitely. So I'm going to invite everyone. Put one hand in the heart, one hand in the lower abdomen. And now, help open our hearts for moving forward with the service that we desire to do. That's what I got. Very, very grateful. So you invite who you believe in. God, Jesus, Mother Mary. If you're of different cultures and religion, call upon the saints that you believe in, the holy beings. They are all unconditional universal servants. I'm going to call all layers of divine Tao source, all the holy beings, Christian saints, all types of saints, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Gurus, Lamas, Kahunas. We're going to call the energies of heaven, Mother Earth, and countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. We're going to ask them to help us open our hearts and souls to find the true self in us, the calling self that would want to serve, so that we will be in peace to move out, to help us release the blockages. See that there is that we can do it with Heaven's help, Tao's help. Breathing in to the lower abdomen, gently relax. Now, this sound is for the fourth soul house. It is Ah, and I'm going to invite deep inhale. And as you exhale, a long Ah sound, stretching it all the way up to the top of the head, pulling it out through the top of the head, chin slightly down. Deep inhale, exhale. Ah. Deep inhale, exhale. Ah. Deep inhale, exhale. Ah. Deep inhale, exhale. Ah. Deep inhale, exhale. Now we're going to do the short sounds. Ah, 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 3 times. Breathing in. Exhale. Ah, ah, ah. 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 And now, for those who know this song, Aya, Aya, Yo, you can sing with me. Those who have never heard of this song, just relax, sit and feel the frequency and vibration that comes through you, through the song. Aya, 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 Yo, Aya, Aya, Yo, Aya, 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 Yo, Aya, 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 Yayo, aya, 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 yo, aya, aya, yo, aya, 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 yo, aya, 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 yo. Silently. Are you ready to unblock the blockages in your heart? The blockages that you see in front of you that you know you want to get past. Continue to say, yes, I want to jump past this hurdle. Please allow me, help me. Heaven, divine, Tao, source, whoever you called now, say it from the entirety of your heart. Please allow me to go through the situations that I'm having. And I will do my best with what I receive to serve others, to serve others with. I will serve whatever it takes for me to go out there and serve. I am very, very grateful. Breathing in this time. Deep breathing in deep. Gently exhale. One more time. Breathing in deep. And this time as you exhale, slowly open your eyes. Coming back into the room. Rub your hands. And just allow the energy. Tap yourself a little bit. Feel if you have any experiences. Yeah, you can write it out, share. Whether you're watching it later or now, it is perfect.
Beautiful, Henderson. So let's start. So everybody, we invite you to post in the chat. Yeah, what was your experience with that meditation? How does your heart feel? Is your heart peaceful? Is it quiet? So let's hear from Monique. You want to start? We'll hear from you and Sarah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you for all your sharings today, Henderson, because as you were speaking, the words that you were using, the gratitude, the how to let it go, how to ask, how can I serve God? Everything that you share opened my heart so much. And when you started the practice just right now, I've become so warm, so hot, and I wonder, why is it that it's so different than my own practice? Because of everything that you have become, and because of the field that you're creating, and because we are with Jimena at the center in the field, it's because of Master Sha. And the joy in my heart right now is the heart, and the gratitude is unbelievable. My gratitude to Jimena, to you, to Master Sha, to all that we're learning. And that is opening my heart so much. And I can't wait for the weekend. And I can't wait for people to have greater experiences of the wisdom that you have been receiving from Master Sha and sharing so beautifully through your experience. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You, Monique, beautiful. You know, you were not in our meeting this afternoon, but what was the number one thing that Henderson talked about this afternoon in the meeting? Sarah, what did he talk about this afternoon?
Jude.
Yeah. Okay, share your experience. What did you see? Share your experience, and then also, what did you see with your third eye for everybody else?
Well, my experience also was one of being extremely opened. You know, my heart was very opened. You know, Henderson is so humble. It just it brings up all the blockages that I have around humility. So thank you for that, Henderson. You know, your story is so much of what the story for all of us is. And, you know, I think often that we put grandmasters up on this incredible pedestal, but for you to be so humble and to tell us that you've been through all the things that everyone goes through and you still go through them, it gives me such hope. It gives me such hope that we can keep going together. And, you know, what I saw when you were doing the practices, I saw many holy beings coming, but they weren't, you know, what I was expecting. I was expecting, you know, the big Buddhas and the full regalia and so on. But what I saw were many, many saints, just like you, very humble. Many of them were barefoot. in just the, sort of sackcloth, highly, highly advanced beings, but also very, very humble. And that just, showed me that one of the greatest pathways to moving forward on our journey, gratitude and humility. So thank you very much for that, Master Henderson.
Beautiful, Sarah. Thank you. So I'm going to read, or at least I'm going to try. It's quite small, but let's see if I can make this bigger somehow. I'm going to read some of these posts from everybody else. And try. So Catherine Weeb says, I was so sleepy before, but quite energized now. Trisha Ann Sonsi. Henderson, what do your parents think now of all your accomplishments on your spiritual journey because of being with Master Sha? We're going to come back to that. And Charlie Sisk says that his heart found inner peace with the practice. And Brianna says, my heart is more quiet and hopeful. I loved asking for help from Tao Source and Divine to clear these blockages. So eternally grateful. Judy Ann says, thank you, Master Henderson, for this awesome teaching. Thank you, Jimena. Love you both. We love you. Melissa, I'm so grateful to receive this teaching from Henderson tonight. Thank you, Divine, Tao Source, Master Sha. I feel more calm and probably peaceful. My heart has opened more. And Tricia says, my heart feels open more with less anxiety in forming my Love, Peace, Harmony group to serve others as a requirement for the Soul Healing Teacher program. And Shari Freed, something happened to me. I was so peaceful during the practice, and then when we finished, my heart started racing. I believe something became unblocked. Thank you so much. That's exactly what happened for you, Shari. Something big shifted for you. And then she says, there is joy in my heart, and it is full of hope that I can do it, go through it, the testings and practices. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Henderson, do you want to answer that question? What do your parents, how do your parents view your accomplishments? Do they understand your accomplishments on the spiritual journey?
I honestly would like to reserve that question for the weekend work,
okay.
for the workshop, because that is a highlight of the main teaching, actually. One of the highlights in the teaching. And true enough, I encourage everyone to join, because we will share the truth. And that's why when God told me, I just want you to learn. When I told God, how can you put me off? I'm a Roman Catholic, one God above all. That's what I believe in. But God told me directly, I didn't ask you to believe. I asked you to learn. So when I heard the word learn, I let go of the belief and I set out to learn. And I invite each and every one of you to come and learn with none other than Master Jimena, who is my mentor. If you think I got to where I am today, it is because of mentors like Master Jimena. Right? Of course, Master Sha is our greatest teacher. And at the same time, along the way, we have stepping stones, and I will share with you. Master Jimena has wisdom beyond, how should I say it? There's no words to explain it. But I learned a lot from Master Jimena. And that's what continues to strengthen me throughout. Right? And we all know that is the true wisdom. When you learn the true wisdom, then you are free. See, Master Jimena is free. She knows the wisdom. She is free. Her soul is singing, serving with its highest voice, right? In that sense. And I always say, nothing can take me out because I believe in what I've learned. I don't have to trust or believe in it because I know what I've learned. And honestly, the testing will come consistently. Even up to today, I get tested. Oh, are you sure you're doing the right thing? You hear little murmurs off of the back of your head. And as long as we don't keep that brown bag in front of our head, we keep ripping it off, keep opening it, you will keep moving forward. Right? So that question definitely asked again in the workshop. That is the heart of it all. Once you get that question done, you're like, I see. Right? So definitely come to the workshop.
So this weekend, we are going to be, we're going to actually make some changes. And a lot of it has to do really with the fact that there's so much happening. So much is happening every single day, with Master Sha. And so what we're going to do is, instead of having a 2-day workshop, we are going to get together on Sunday afternoon with Henderson from 1 to 4. So we're going to get the registration link adjusted. So make sure, absolutely make sure that you register for tonight, because we're going to be sending you a link. Those who registered for tonight, you'll get an email. You know our emails. I want to thank everybody. You guys are amazing. Nobody believes me. We have 12 centers. Nobody believes the statistics at this center. I finally got it. Nobody believes me. Our open rates for our emails are off the charts. For a night like tonight, it'll easily be 80%. 80% of you will open the email. So make sure, because we offer you not only a recap of what happened, but we give you teachings. So how do I apply what happened tonight? What do I do with it? What's the significance of this? Because it's great to be here with Henderson and you're in his field, but then if nothing changes for you tomorrow, then what did we accomplish? Nothing. So we have to make sure we guide you. So this is one of the reasons why many of you, but I'm grateful to all of you who open our emails, but make sure you're on that list, because we will adjust the honor fee for the workshop accordingly so that it reflects the fact that it's only going to be three hours, I think. But those 3 hours, just think about the hour and a half that you spent with Henderson. What did you learn? Put it in the chat. What was your aha moment listening to Henderson? What was your takeaway listening to Henderson? What did his stories? One of the things that I learned a long time ago, I actually, the first time I did this was with David Lush, also at the Community Miracle Center. David's book, I Healed My Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, came out. And it was, I think it was Christmas time. And we had this Christmas party. And the center we had 60 people who came. And it was amazing. It was the best Christmas party. One person brought this bag, and she had all of these musical instruments, and it was a potluck. And we didn't have enough table for all the stuff that people brought. But David's book came out. So I said, let's do like an Oprah thing. I'll just, we'll get people to buy your book. But I'll interview you. And I discovered that by listening to people's stories, then we learn how to make changes in our lives, because you listen to somebody else and you're like, oh, I can do that. I can, yeah. So that's why I asked Henderson, a couple of times about his own personal story, because when we share our stories, you see, like Sarah said, you're so humble, but yet, you're still, and yet you're still struggling with the same things that the rest of us are struggling with. Yet you've already reached a very high level, spiritually. So we're going to continue the conversation with him. He's going to go deeper into practice this weekend to really give us like an extended periods of going deep into opening and quieting the heart, opening the heart, quieting the heart. So make sure you join us this weekend. Make sure you're registered for tonight. If the team could post, let me see if I have that link handy. Yeah, there you go. I just posted it. Just make sure you register yourself for tonight. If you already registered once, don't register again. It just creates extra work for us. But we'll send you an email, and join us this weekend so that you can learn more, experience more, and then apply it to your own journey. Apply the simple things that Henderson's talking about, like how he bargains with himself. Okay, just 10 times, Henderson, just 10 times. I do the same thing. I'm listening to him and I'm like, oh my God, we've got the same playbook. We're following the same playbook. Join us this weekend. Learn more from him. Experience more with Henderson this weekend. How to quiet your heart. How to use the practices so that you can day by day quiet the heart. When you get off the tracks, you get yourself back on track, so that you can learn more. So let's see what people's aha moments were, okay? Let's read a few of these. Let's see. So Tricia says, thank you all for the wonderful and lovely birthday evening. Oh, good. Happy birthday, Tricia. And for all your loving and sweet messages, it's so much appreciated. Shirley, it's perfectly okay to negotiate with oneself just to simply break through and start moving. It's also okay to reward myself with ice cream. Absolutely. Do whatever it takes, Shirley, to keep moving forward on the spiritual journey. That's the moral of that story. And Judy Ann says, Henderson is real and shares his own story and makes it so real for each of us that we too can have some of the same experiences. Yep. Sarah, a humble servant with an open heart, has God's ear. Thank you, Henderson. And Suzanne, I like that Henderson shares his struggles in a very relatable way. At the same time, we can clearly sense his high level of spiritual achievement. Yes. And Tricia Ann, Master Henderson is real yet very humble, loving and so sweet. His soul shines so bright, it's almost blinding. Love you lots. Thank you for your wise words and time tonight. And Shari, I really appreciated you sharing with us, first, that many people struggle and hit walls at times, and your inspired ideas of what we can do. Truly grateful. Brianna, I felt it was very relatable when you asked God, and she told you to learn. Greatest gratitude. Okay. All right. Beautiful. So Henderson, any final last words or teachings that you would like to offer?
I am very grateful that this weekend it will be, together with Master Jimena at the Master Sha Dao Center, Vancouver, which has one of the highest fields, right? And the frequency and vibration that comes out of it is what will help each and every one of us truly being in the Tao calligraphy healing field. As Master Monique Guillard said, it is the high frequency. This is where we can do it. It is sometimes us alone is hard, but with the backup of all the calligraphies that Master Sha has written, as Master Sha shared, the Tao calligraphy healing field carries the message. The message is the information, the soul, the Shen, the overall arching field that can help us release, transform negative message to positive message. And that is where we're gonna, put it in there, and we will receive help from the Tao calligraphy healing field. We're here to share the wisdom, but at the same time, the blessings that will help clear the blockages by being in the Tao calligraphy healing field is the key. Like for me, you only see 2 calligraphies behind me, but in front of me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 other calligraphies around me all the time. And that is still not in comparison to a Master Sha Dao Center, Tao calligraphy healing field, right? And being online, I can see it radiate coming out. It's so amazing. So definitely come join us. And I'm very grateful to each and every one of you who came and watched, and who will be watching later the recordings. Do come join us this weekend.
Thank you so much, Henderson. Thank you for not only the wisdom that you share, but thank you for sharing your heart with us. Thank you for bringing your love, and thank you for bringing the presence of who you have become. Thank you for bringing that to each of us tonight, and helping each of us to deepen our connection to the divine, the Tao, and the source through your presence and through your beautiful heart of service. Yeah. So yes, we invite everybody. And as I said, we're going to change from a 2-day workshop to a 1-day workshop, because there's a lot happening on the weekends, and it's going to be easier for you to join us if we only do it 1 day. So we're waiting to change the registration link, and save the date. Sunday afternoon. Join us. Be with Henderson. It's going to be a very, very special experience of opening your heart and going deeper into quietness, deeper into peacefulness, and it will be really our greatest accomplishment if in the process we can help each of you to connect then with your heart's desire of how it is that you want to serve. Because we talked this afternoon, there's actually a cycle, and the cycle starts, it usually starts with us having an issue and looking for a solution, which is what happened with Henderson. But then you find the solution with Master Sha, the gratitude, then our hearts get filled with gratitude and we want to serve, and then something blocks us. So we want to help all of you to complete the cycle, which is to serve, to serve. And every single one of us is able to serve. Because if you've only been studying with Master Sha for 1 week, you can already be helping somebody who has absolutely no experience. You already know enough to be able to help them. And I want to help you this weekend to see that. I so believe this in my heart now. I know it. I just keep looking for ways to help each of you realize this. that you already know so much and that you could be serving others in simple, easy ways. So with that, I invite you to join us on Sunday with Henderson from 1 to 4 p.m. And then we are going to do a very special event on September 4th. So there's been changes in schedules, and Master Sha will not be able to join us, but you can still join us. We are going to hold a very special Tao Healing and Transformation event in the Bagua calligraphy field that, oh my God, it's unbelievable when you get those calligraphies up and we recreate the Bagua. I'm going to talk to Mark about what we can do on the 4th, because the idea, now we have time to plan, is to get a camera in the middle of the Bagua, and then you experience the 8 calligraphies, yeah? And then we have a special guest who's going to transmit the Dao Da Quan Shu Golden Healing Ball for a Golden Healing Ball and Golden Liquid Spring for an organ, system, or part of the body. So I want to make sure you receive the treasure that was promised. We're going to reopen. We have to make some changes. We'll reopen the registration link, and you can join us on September 4th for a very special afternoon. And with that, I wish you all the very best. May you have a happy and healthy life. Love you all. Bye-bye.